Hello, it is shortly after midnight on Sunday morning, which means it must be the Queer Lit Readathon because I'm vlogging in a bathroom. I think I'm going to stay up and read maybe the first chapter or section of Genderqueer, which is my graphic novel for the week, and then crash because tomorrow I need to film my weekly wrap-up, and then also the next day I need to film a monthly wrap-up because I thought it would be a good idea to have the readathon on a week that spans 2 different months, because that's not going to make it more difficult for myself. I'm very excited. Being on the West Coast, I feel like everybody's already been reading for like a day, but I'm going to read a little bit and go to sleep. Good morning. It's a little after 10 a.m. I stayed up until about 1 a.m. reading Genderqueer. I got more than 100 pages into it. There's not really any chapter breaks, so there's not a good place to stop, so I just kind of had to stop. Otherwise, I was going to read until much later than my bedtime. And obviously, I had to get up and film my weekly entertainment wrap-up, which I just finished doing, so now I have to edit that while it's exporting. I will finish, hopefully, the rest of Genderqueer. I was thinking about the order in which I'm going to read my books this week, and since I have 2 books that are road trip books, I'm going to have to make sure to split them up. I also feel like that once I finish Genderqueer today, I might try to read my Christmassy novella next, just to get it out of the way, and then I will have 2 out of 4 of my things read for the week. And then I really want to read One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. Like, I really want to read that. I've been holding it off so I could read it for this readathon, so I could give these types of updates. But then that means I have to make sure to split up The Black Veins and The Sound of Stars because they both have road trips, which means that I will read one of those after that, then The Summer of Everything, and then the other one, just to make sure that I don't read them back to back, because I don't want to be reading them and comparing them while I'm reading them. I just want to read and enjoy them for what they are. So yeah, that's my plan. Also, I have an audiobook this week that wasn't on my TBR. It just happens to be the audiobook that is available to me right now, and that's Black Sun, and it's queer, so that's good. I'm only about an hour into it. I started it yesterday, so we'll see how that goes. Hello, so the auto captions on today's video are taking forever to populate, so I haven't been able to capture my video yet. But I did finish Genderqueer already, and before going into mine for Christmas, I figured I would take this opportunity to unbox some book mail that I got. We were very confused when there was a knock on the door because nobody comes to our door, but apparently even though it's Sunday, Canada Post was delivering, so book mail. This came from an author. I actually won one of those giveaways that you see all over Twitter all the time. I actually won one of those, so I'm very excited about this. Let's open it up. So the book that was being given away was The Life and Medieval Times of Kit Sweetly by Jamie Pacton. This came directly from the author, so I'm pretty sure that Jamie even signed it for me. I think that was part of what... Yeah, right there. Signed and personalized. Very adorable. I approve. There's also a letter in here. Aw, it's just really cute. It's just, thanks for reading this. Oh my goodness, and the art on the back of this is really cute. This is getting put up somewhere in here. Also, sorry for the terrible lighting. This room has terrible lighting. It's November, so it's disgusting outside. But this room is much warmer than the other room that I was filming in before, so that's why we're in here. So just to give you an idea of what this book is, because it sounded fascinating when I first read about it, I will just read you some of the inner flap. Working as a wench, i.e. a waitress, at a cheesy medieval-themed restaurant in the Chicago suburbs, Kit Sweetly wishes she could be a knight like her brother. She has the moves, is capable on a horse, and desperately needs the raise that comes with knighthood so she can hold her spot at her dream college and help her mom pay the mortgage. So basically, this is going to be some feminist goodness where she wants to be a knight. They'll probably be like, you're a girl, and she'll probably be like, yeah, try to stop me. I am very excited. This sounds really, really cute. This also came with some goodies, so let's see what those are, because I knew I was getting things and then I tried to immediately forget what they were because I love unpackaging things and being like, look at this, it's adorable. Also, before we do that, I really love that we have all of these different knights. I have a feeling that by the end of it, her whole friend group is going to become knights based on this, but I don't know for sure. This is just really cute. And it says right on it, tell me I can't and then watch me do it, so I'm pretty sure that my feelings about what this book is going to be are accurate. We have a little rubber ducky that is also a knight, and I knew this was coming because I couldn't forget this because it's so cute. Like, look at it, it's adorable. You're going right on my shelves, friends. And then you're probably gonna go hang out in the bathtub with me on Wednesdays. And then the other thing was the sticker that says joust like a girl. I appreciate this. This is adorable. This also just makes me think of my friend actually owns an armory company and they do sword fighting lessons, and his girlfriend is actually their bow maker as well as their fletcher, so I'm gonna link them down below actually, because I love any reason to say, hey, go buy swords and shit from my friend Ripley, because that's awesome. It's so cute. Everything is adorable. I love it. I'm gonna go back upstairs and see if stuff is ready to be captioned properly. I got a couple of sections into mine for Christmas while I was still waiting for my captions to generate. I actually ended up having to just type them out myself and wait for them to sync. It's cute. It's only like 56 pages, so I'm definitely going to finish it tonight, but that means I need to actually go do that now. Good morning, it's Monday. It's still November and I was considering filming my monthly wrap-up today, but I have a feeling if I did that, I would finish my next book after doing that, and then technically my monthly wrap-up would be wrong, so I think I'm going to film it tomorrow because I'm currently reading One Last Stop. I didn't update you last night, but I started reading it. I'm really enjoying it so far. The details in the characters so far make them very, very interesting, and there's also some intrigue to do with her mom that I'm looking forward to seeing about that. So yeah, I wasn't feeling great last night, but I crawled into bed, read the first chapter or two of that, and then went to sleep really early, and now I think I'm just gonna lay in bed and continue reading. This is the first time I've been outside the house for like at least a week, and of course I'm doing the all-important grocery and alcohol run. Yeah, alcohol. Hello, it's 9:30 at night and I was overambitious in thinking that I would finish this book today. I'm on chapter 8, I'm about 43% of the way through. I'm really enjoying it, super enjoying it, but obviously it's longer than the 2 things I read yesterday, which made me all cocky and thinking that I could read fast, which no, I can't. We know this about me, I can't read fast. But I did get some of the work done for the video that I have to make tomorrow, so it'll be easier to do that. And I got to hang out with my roommates, and I'm gonna crawl into bed and read some more, and I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's Tuesday. I just filmed my November wrap-up as well as the beginning of an unboxing, which is going to turn into a reading vlog, so that's gonna be fun down the line. And now I've got editing ahead of me, and there's been so many large trucks, and I don't understand. We live in a very small area. Why are there always trucks around my house? I don't know. So that's always a thing I have to deal with in my videos. The sounds of large trucks going by for some reason. But yeah, now I have to edit. I've got like 42 minutes of raw footage for this monthly wrap-up, so it's gonna take some time, but when it's exporting, I finally get to read again. Alright, editing took like an hour and a half. It's gonna take at least an hour and a half to export. That's what it's telling me at the very beginning, which means it'll probably take at least 2 hours, if not more. I could have moved this to we have a desktop computer downstairs that is my boyfriend's gaming computer, and he does some of his editing on that, and it's way faster, but I just can't be bothered, and I want the excuse to read while this is exporting, so that's what I'm gonna do. Also, I keep forgetting to say this in my updates, but I thought that One Last Stop was a retelling of Kate and Leopold based on like how it's described by the publishers. It's definitely not a retelling at all. Like, the closest you could say it's a retelling is it's basically a love letter to New York, and it happens in New York, and that's the similarities. That's it. That's it. I'm not really upset by this. I just think that the publisher should maybe rephrase their blurb, because it was definitely misleading, and I'm not mad that I ended up watching Kate and Leopold because it was delightful. I'm just saying I thought it was going to be a retelling based on how they pitched it, and it's not. Sorry if anybody who watched my TBR now thinks that and now is expecting that, because it's definitely not it. Good afternoon, it's Wednesday. This morning I finished One Last Stop and I cried a lot. You are not ready. It is amazing. I love it so much. This morning I also started reading The Black Veins, 2 chapters in. I'm very much enjoying it. Also, the beginning of this book has a content warning page, which I love to see. So that's great. I'm gonna keep reading, and then I'm gonna go pick up some Thai food. Hello, it's Thursday and I left my camera downstairs, which means that this is the first time you're getting an update. It's like halfway through the day. I've just been reading all day. I finally finished The Black Veins. It is really good. It sets you up for a great series to come, hopefully. I really enjoyed all of the characters. I really liked all of the development that went on and how they really came together to be a group. There are a bunch of typological errors that are in it, which makes me wonder if like they just need a better line editor. I volunteer, because I used to do that for a very small amount of time. Really enjoying it, and now I'm going to move on to The Summer of Everything by Julian Winters, and I'm really excited about it. Good morning, it's Friday. I made myself grilled cheese. I'm about 60% of the way through The Summer of Everything, and it's so good. I'm enjoying it so much, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. I have a business meeting in a few minutes because I might start a part-time job starting next week from home, which is great because then I don't have to go anywhere and I can do it in my jammies. And yeah, I'm very excited to dive back into that book once this meeting is over. Hello, I just finished The Summer of Everything and it made me cry a bunch, so thank you for that, Julian. 5 stars, loved it. Cried a lot. This means I actually blacked out the bingo board because I also read this webcomic that is a retelling of Dungeons and Dragons, because One Last Stop wasn't a retelling, so I needed to find something quick so I would actually be able to do that. It was called Fallow Time. I'll probably link it in the description because it's really short. But that means I've blacked out the board. I still have 1 book left on my TBR, that's The Sound of Stars. I still want to read it before the end of tomorrow. Hopefully I will, because I also need to finish my audiobook for the week. We'll see how that goes. Hello, it's Saturday morning and I got up early to release a video where I talk about the 2021 date, so I will link that in places. I am also going on a walk because it is the first nice day in my neighborhood all week, and I really need to listen to most of Black Sun on audiobook. I'm listening to it at double speed and I think I still have 4 hours at double speed left, so let's see if I can do that and also finish The Sound of Stars. That one might roll over into next week. Did it. I finished Black Sun, so now I am going to have some Pop-Tart s'mores and also some ginger slices to keep myself awake because I'm feeling tired, and see what I can do about finishing Sound of the Stars, or The Sound of Stars rather. I'm less than 2/3 of the way through and it's like, I want to say 3:30 p.m. so there's a possibility. There is a possibility. Did I finish that last book? No, it's about 8 o'clock. I'm definitely not going to finish it. I finished the first part. I'm really enjoying it, but I also wanted to finish the 4th season of The Magicians, and I did, and it's really good, and I'm really mad that I don't have the 5th season because it's not on Canadian Prime. The show is really good, and the musical talent on it is also amazing, and you would be amazed at how often that shows up. So, yeah, I'm not going to finish the other book this evening. That's perfectly fine by me because I can roll it into next week. I've already read more this week than my roommate's boyfriend has read in his entire adult life. So I'm fine with that. Thank you as always for coming along on this adventure. As I mentioned, our dates for 2021 are up, so I will link that down below. Let me know what you read this week. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as the link to my PayPal and my Amazon wishlist in case you would like to buy me a book. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!